Episode 3832, You Only Get One Chance with Your Children.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. It's Friday. Get a little bit excited. Come on. A little happy dance would be a great thing. Why not? Because it is Confessions Day. And you know what? We're going to let it all hang out because you only get one chance with your children. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and to sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Okay, well, I hope you're ready for a fabulous weekend because I think we need to be optimistic. You need to think that your football team's going to win. You need to think you're going to have a wonderful time with your family. You're going to think that every single thing that you cook is fabulous. Like it's going to be a grand weekend. So why not enjoy it now? Seriously, kick it off now. Have that already determined in your mind because a lot of times we wake up and it's like, it's going to be one of those days. This week we've had a lot of rainy days and honestly we needed some rain down here in the South and it was wonderful. I love the rain, but it was a torrential downpour at one point where it was an immediate flash flood. I think we got, 2.5 inches or more of rain in like less than 30 minutes. Like it was a downpour and I'm like, oh my goodness. At one point, not here in this past week, but we had so much rain one time that our 2 trash cans actually went floating down the street. And my kids had to go get them. I mean, I'm talking about these bigger trash cans. And they just went down the sidewalk, just going down because that's what happens here. And when you get too much rain in the South, it's a flash flood. Well, with the rain, though, sometimes you look outside and it's just kind of dreary. And it's kind of like droopy. And you're just like, I don't really want to do anything. And you just have this attitude. We can't let our feelings guide most of our actions in our everyday. But it's easy to do. We all do it. And especially in parenting. We can get wrapped up in our own CRAP of life that it affects how we parent. And we're doing the best we can. I know, moms, dads, we're doing the best, right? But we really need to try to do better. And it's great if you can learn from someone, who's already made 10,000 mistakes prior to you. Yeah, take it from me. I've made at least that many, if not more. My kids might say I've made 1 million, but we'll leave that for another episode. But seriously, one of the things I want you to think about today is how much of your time is spent building your dream, or maybe it's building your business versus building your family. And it's not a question most of us ask often, right, of ourselves. But this is the question that we need to start facing head on because you only get one chance with your children. You only have this one moment in time. You can never get this day back. And I don't want you to think that, oh gosh, Christiane, I've already lost so many days already of their life. No, don't go there. Just take it where you are right now. If you're an empty nester, take it where you are right now. Just because they moved out doesn't mean you stop being a mom. Seriously. But you see, this is the thing. Your kids don't care about the size of the empire you're building. What they do care about is whether you're there, truly present, when they're running around outside, playing their favorite games or sitting across the dinner table sharing a meal. Maybe for a sleepover or a prom night. Maybe for that one special moment where, she really doesn't want you there, but she wants to know that you're there on the night she gets her first kiss. You see, our kids notice if we show up. They notice if we show up at their practice, if we listen when they talk, if, we really see them and hear them. And none of your business wins will fill the spaces where your presence should have been. And I think we come up with a lot of excuses. Oh, I've got to do this. I really need to do this. This is more pressing right now. I get it. Sometimes there are those life and death moments in business. I get that. But that should be just moments, not months and years. Think about that. You see, I recently came across this reminder from a good friend, mentor, and coach. His name is Aaron Walker, and I'll have a link in the show notes if you want to hear more about what he does. And he was specifically addressing men, okay? He does this. He has groups. It's called Iron Sharpens Iron. He's fabulous. And when I read this, I was like, wow, it's not just for men. It rings true for women too, all parents. Awareness of how we show up for our children is crucial, not just for their happiness today, but for their long-term success. And as I read this on Aaron's social media post, I was like, you know what? This would be a great conversation. We need to think about, are we doing what our children need us to do in their stage of life that they're in? Because we can grind in our businesses all day long, but our children only are in our life and under our roof for roughly 6,935 days. And no, I did not add in there how many leap years there would be. So it'd probably be more than that. But I couldn't figure that out. I wasn't going there. So just roughly that, give or take about 5 to 10 days. Okay. Just saying. This isn't a number to scare you, but to sharpen your focus. We owe it to ourselves and more importantly to our children to set boundaries. And those boundaries, we always think as parents, is more on them than it is on us. And I want to flip the script this time. I want us to look at the boundaries that we're putting on ourselves. Boundaries are not to restrict our kids, but to protect ourselves and the moments that can never be recaptured. You don't want to let that special day slip by because you had to be somewhere. Did you really have to be there? Now, again, this is not to make you feel guilty, right? This is confession day. But I do believe that a lot of us, and me included, okay, I'm going to be honest, even when I was volunteering, okay, I took what I did very seriously, whether it was because it was my job and I was getting paid for it, or if it was a volunteer position. There are many things that I did that gave value to the family, the community, my colleagues that I served, the people that I served, my clients, etc. And so I want excellence from myself. Well, in order to do that, in my opinion, sometimes I show up working still when I'm with the kids. Is that really fair to them? Nah. No, not really. I mean, imagine this. Imagine if you were working with a client and you brought all your kids along and said, oh, I just need to have them here with me because I just want them to be with me. I just want them to be with me. And we're just going to continue to go about our day. We're going to have this negotiation thing. It's going to be great. We'll be fine. It's going to be a little strange, right? I mean, imagine if you're a physician. Imagine if you're an attorney. Okay, maybe a physician might be really cool, an attorney too. You know, you go to court and they're yelling and you get to drop whatever, evidence and all of this. I mean, some of the things could be really exciting. But there would be many, many, many times that not only would your client or your customer feel awkward, but you would. And your kids would be like, Mom, you really okay? Like, this isn't normal. So why is it that we think it's normal, and okay to bring home our work, but it's not normal and okay to take our kids into work when we're working? I think if we kind of switch that in our mind, we might actually be like, oh, yeah, maybe boundaries aren't to restrict our kids, but more so protect ourselves and the moments that God wants us to have with our children. So if that is you, or even a little piece of you, because I know when I read this, I was like, this is interesting. And my kids are technically all old enough to be on their own, doing their own thing. We've got a few doing some work still at home. We're in transition on a couple of them, which is great. And now we have our grandbabies. So we're at another level. And I'm like, okay, this is fabulous. But what can I do that's even better than what I did when I was raising my 5? And my 5 turned out wonderful. But what about the next ones to come as my grandbabies? And even that, if you're like, well, Christine, I don't have children, that's okay. You probably have mentored a child or two. Maybe you have nieces or nephews. Maybe you have colleagues that are like, family to you. And so their children, you've seen them grow up. And you go to things. Why? Because you're family. Okay? They're your children. They may not live under your roof, but you treat them as such, okay? So I think we really need to sit back for a moment and say, okay, am I doing what I need to do in this season of life to protect my children and set boundaries that protect us as a family? Because that's what you got to do. You got to set sacred boundaries. That is your Kids to Keep It Simple strategy. Set those sacred boundaries. Don't be afraid to say, nope, I'm done. I'm not taking my work home today. It's staying at work. And I know because we helped build my husband's career. I sacrificed a ton for his career. And so did his children. But let me tell you this, when he came home, he left his work where it was. And when he was a dad, he was a dad. Full on 1,000%. Now, there were times that he had to leave. That was fine. I handled it. And that's why I always called myself a single married mother. It wasn't because I needed a title. It was just that I didn't say yes to anything that I could not personally do because we could not rely on my husband's schedule. That's fine. It was out of his control. We knew what we were signing up for, but we still set sacred boundaries. So what are those for you? Well, let's look at how you do that in real life. Number one, set a hard stop. Decide on a clear time when work ends each day. And maybe it's different. Maybe Wednesdays you go to church so it ends a little bit earlier. Maybe Fridays you do a half day. Whatever it is. No exceptions, no excuses. This signals to your family that your attention is theirs to have. And let them know that. Say, Dad's done working. Mom's here. I'm all in. I'm putting up the computer. I'm not writing anymore. Now, for me, I can't say that. I write all the time. So I am guilty of that. But the way I write and how I take quick notes, there's a method to my madness. So I don't have to stop anything and everything. I just jot something down and then I can go back to what I'm doing. And I have interrupted conversations, said, hold on, got a thought here. And they know now. And I just write it down real quick. And then I'm like, okay, great. Next, move on. So there are some things that you have to capture in real time. Okay. Learn how to do that. But don't sit there and have your phone with you and, it's after dinner and you're sitting there and you're scrolling through emails and you're starting to reply. No, work's done. Just because emails are available 24/7, 365 doesn't mean you should be on and in your email box, right? So set a hard stop. Number two, protect the dinner table. I love what Aaron says about this. Make mealtime sacred zones, free from screens, emails, and distractions. This is where what happens? Connection, community. Your family is a community. The best one that you should be pouring into all the time. And the dinner table is the best place for it. And the second place, by the way, I know you didn't ask this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The first place is the dinner table. The second place is when you're driving them to their activities. In the car, they will share with you everything. Those are the two places you need to be most present. And if that's the only thing you get from this episode, fabulous. But you've got to protect that dinner table and the ride because you want to have that connection and the conversations build trust. And then finally, number three, and Aaron mentioned this too, Sabbath rest. We all need a time of rest. So reserve at least one full day. Maybe it's a half day for you, but whatever it is, set that day aside for family time. This is all about family focus. A day off work isn't just good for you. It's essential for your family's rhythm and well-being. We all need some downtime. We all need a nap. And we would do that when our kids were younger and we were done with church. And sometimes we would go out. Most of the time I would just cook something and we would have McMommies or we would do B-dubs. And I would rename all the different restaurants because I didn't want to go out. We had a large family and going out, we could very easily spend $50 hardly with anything. food wise. And then sometimes the kids would eat it and sometimes not. So what we would do is Mama would just make it. And so I had McMommies for like McDonald's, but it was McMommies. We would have B-dubs for Buffalo Wild Wings and, all these different things. The pizza thing we'd come up with. Anyway, I even had menus at one point when they were little and they could pick out what they want and they would pretend they were ordering and then Mama would fix it up. And it was fabulous and fun. We would do that on a Sunday and then it was nap time and rest time. Now, as the kids got older, they didn't all have to take a nap, but they did all have to rest. So their rest time might be reading a book or going and doing some artwork or maybe studying even. But they had to have quiet time while the little ones at least took a nap. Because you had 5. I mean, we did with it. So someone was always sleeping. And if Mom could catch a snooze, that was fabulous. And then we would enjoy dinner and then we'd get ready for the week and we were ready for a fresh start. So as you're thinking about these sacred boundaries and what it looks like for you, I want you to also ask yourself these questions. And I would write these questions down and reflect on them often because I think it's a good, quick check to say, okay, is this where I really am? It's like check under the engine. Is this settling in right? Did my family get the best version of me today, or did I give them just the leftovers? Our family, the people within the privacy of your own 4 walls, they deserve 1,000% all of you. Don't hold back. Don't only give your best to your business. You better be giving your best to your family, to your kiddos. Number 2, am I guarding moments that my business cannot touch? You're like, yeah, I know that one's a hard one, isn't it? Meaning that, are you saying I'm not going to work and not work? You got to guard those moments. And then number 3, and what if I asked my kids, would they feel like I truly care about them or that I care more about what I do? When you ask this question, if you ever dare to, seriously, and I would challenge you to do so, and don't set expectations in your mind as to what you think they're going to answer. Just let them answer. And you can even ask your older kiddos. If they're moved on, they're married, whatever, ask them and say, what did you think about this when you were in high school? Or just when you were in college? Give a most recent account and just see what they say. You might be surprised and you might learn something, not just about them, but about you. Being a parent isn't just about raising kids. It's about growing into who God wants you to become. I mean, it's really kind of crazy when you look at your kids and you're like, oh my goodness, I see me. Okay, this is a little scary. And not because they have your nose or they have your eyes. No, it's because you look at them and there is this resemblance of attitude, personality, a little spunk, or maybe not so much. Maybe they have this energy level. Maybe they challenge you in a certain way and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm looking at myself in a mirror. It really is revealing what our kids tell us. So don't be afraid to ask them. Oh, my friend, parenting demands daily effort and energy. I know it does. And we need a nap already, right? But you've got to stay committed. And you've got to consistently show up and build up the hearts that matter most. And that's your kiddos. Don't waste this once in a lifetime chance. Don't. Your children aren't just part of your life. They are your life's most precious work. So don't ever give up on the hearts that matter most. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.